My first night on the job. Easy, they said. Just walk the halls, check the doors. It's an old building, they said. Makes some strange noises. I laughed it off. An old building is just an old building. Right. The pay was good. The hours were quiet. What could possibly go wrong? I started my shift at 10 p.m. The last office worker gave me a weird look as she left, a mix of pity and fear. I just nodded, jingling the heavy ring of keys in my hand. For the first few hours it was exactly what I expected. The hum of the fluorescent lights, the echo of my own footsteps on the marble floors, the distant rumble of the city outside. I did my rounds, floor by floor, 7th, 6th, 5th. Everything was locked up tight. It was on the 4th floor that things started to feel off. The air grew colder, not just a draft, but a deep bone-chilling cold that seemed to radiate from the walls themselves. My breath fogged in front of my face. I checked the thermostat. It was set to a comfortable 70 degrees. Shaking my head, I told myself it was just my imagination. Old buildings have cold spots. I kept walking, my footsteps sounding unnaturally loud in the sudden silence. The usual city hum had vanished. It was like the building was holding its breath. That's when I heard it. A faint sound, like a child humming a nursery rhyme. It was so soft I almost missed it. I stopped, straining my ears. There it was again, clearer this time. It seemed to be coming from the end of the hallway. My heart started hammering against my ribs. I'm alone in here, I reminded myself. Completely alone. My hand instinctively went to the heavy flashlight on my belt. I crept down the hallway, my light beam cutting through the gloom. The humming grew louder, a simple, looping melody that was both innocent and deeply unsettling. It led me to a blank wall at the end of a dead-end corridor. There were no doors here, just solid, featureless plaster, but the sound was definitely coming from behind it. I ran my hand over the wall's surface. It was smooth, cold, seamless, yet the humming persisted, a ghostly tune seeping through the very stone. Panic began to set in, but curiosity is a powerful thing. I started knocking on the wall, tapping gently at first, then harder. Most of it felt solid, but then my knuckles hit a spot that gave a hollow thud. My blood ran cold. I pushed against it. Nothing. I pushed harder, putting my shoulder into it. With a low groan of rusted metal and scraping stone, a section of the wall swung inward, revealing a pitch-black opening. The humming stopped. The silence that followed was 1,000 times worse. A smell wafted out from the hidden room, the smell of dust, decay, and something else. Something metallic and sweet. I hesitated, every instinct screaming at me to turn back, to run out of the building and never return, but I couldn't. I had to know what was in there. I raised my flashlight and pointed it into the darkness. The beam landed on a small, dusty room. It looked like it hadn't been opened in a century. In the center of the room was a single, small wooden chair, and on the chair sat a worn, antique-looking doll with cracked porcelain skin and one missing button eye. It was just a doll. My heart rate started to slow. I let out a shaky breath, a nervous laugh bubbling in my throat. I'd been spooked by a hidden room in an old toy. I stepped inside, my flashlight beam sweeping across the walls. They were covered in strange, childlike drawings, stick figures, houses, suns. But the closer I looked, the more disturbing they became. The stick figures had no faces. The suns were black, and there were words scrolled among the pictures over and over again, in a messy, desperate hand. "He won't let us leave." A floorboard creaked behind me. I spun around, my light beam cutting wildly through the darkness. The secret door was swinging shut. I lunged for it, but it was too late. It clicked into place with a sound of finality, plunging me into absolute blackness. I fumbled for the wall, my hands patting desperately for a latch, a handle, anything. There was nothing. It was smooth stone once more. I was trapped. Then, I heard a new sound. A tiny, scraping noise. It was coming from the center of the room. Slowly, I raised my flashlight, my hand trembling so hard the beam danced erratically. I pointed it at the chair. The doll was gone. The scraping sound came again, this time from a corner to my left. I whipped the light in that direction. Nothing but shadows. Then to my right, nothing. It was a game of cat and mouse in the pitch dark. A tiny giggle echoed through the small space, a sound that was no longer innocent. It was malicious. I backed away until my back hit the far wall, sinking to the floor. I kept the light beam fixed on the empty chair, thinking if I just watched that spot, I'd be safe. The scraping stopped. The giggling stopped. Silence descended again, thick and suffocating. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. My flashlight started to flicker. No, not now. I smacked it against my palm. The beam steadied for a moment, then flickered again, weaker this time. Just as the light was about to die completely, it illuminated something on the floor, just a few feet in front of me. It was the doll. It was lying on its back, its one good glass eye staring directly at me, and in its small porcelain hand, it was holding something, a single, tarnished brass key. The key wasn't there before, I'm sure of it. Suddenly, a child's whisper filled the room, seeming to come from all around me. "He's coming." My flashlight died. The darkness was total. And from the hallway beyond the sealed door, I heard a new sound. Heavy, deliberate footsteps, and the faint jingle of a large ring of keys. My keys. I'm still in this room. The sun has come up, I think, I can't be sure. The footsteps never stop, they just patrol the halls, back and forth, endlessly. Sometimes, I hear the humming again, but it's not the doll, it's me. I can't seem to stop. I found more writing on the walls, scratched into the stone by someone else who found this room long ago. The last entry just says, the night shift is never over. The keys are jingling just outside my door now. I think he's found a new caretaker. If you're watching this, if you're the new hire, don't touch the wall on the 4th floor. Just walk away.